All right, everyone. So I'm in the garage. It's going to be a beautiful day outside, and I have a crap ton of stuff to do on the Golf. So let's go. I made it back from the parts run. So now I have to set the car up and get it ready to do the job that I need to do today, which is the head gasket. Head gasket is leaking out the side of the block, or up between the head and the block at the side water fitting. So I'm hoping that I can just replace the head gasket really quick and move on to some of the other stuff I need to do, like getting the skid plates on and getting a power steering line made, and so much to do. I've got a big list, so I need to get started. So you probably won't be able to see it, but it is leaking. Let's see here. It is leaking right under this water fitting from the back of the head, and I hope that it's just a gasket. So I'm gonna get this thing out of here and take a look at it. Alright, so at this point, if you're following along and you haven't completely fast forwarded or skipped to this part, you'll probably realize that I still have the timing belt attached. That's because I'm trying to make this job go by as quickly as possible. So how am I going to change the head gasket with the timing belt still attached? I'm going to use my engine hoist. So I've already loosened the exhaust down tube, so the exhaust is loose, the brackets that hold the head here on the side are loose, all the head bolts are out. Ideally, this should just lift up enough that I can slide a timing belt out, do an inspection of it, see if I really do need to pull the head or not. If it's just the gasket that's let go, I can kind of clean up the surface, put it back on, and torque it down, put it back together, and I'll be done. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I was successful. I didn't have to take the passenger side lift mount off because it was hooked to the dust shield for the timing belt, and I did have to undo the timing belt. But I got one more hose to do, and I will be able to lift the head up enough to clean everything out around it, and clean the deck surface, clean the bottom of the head without taking it out of the car, which is still saving me a whole lot of time. Before I did all that, I did set the timing to top dead center to the timing marks, so putting the timing belt back on will be a super quick and easy job. One thing to remember when you do a job like this is don't just chuck the head gasket. Kind of be careful taking it out, because you can learn a lot from looking at the head gasket. So what did I learn from looking at this? Well, let's take a look. So this here is the brand new head gasket. This is the one that we took out. I've already wiped it down, but you can see a lot of little cracks around this, what used to be a hole. On this gasket, there's actually a hole, and here it's been hollowed out. Everything else looks pretty good. Like, you look between the cylinders and there's no burning or anything like that between the cylinders, so that's a good sign. It just really looks like, and that might be some of the gasket is stuck to it, but it looks like at the corners here, it just got tired and worn out. This is not metal, it's like a composite substance. So I'm pretty confident that cleaning everything up and putting this back together with new head bolts is going to be the fix that's going to make this thing not smoke like a banshee out of the tailpipe and not leak water out the side of the head. So let's get this thing back together. I've cleaned up both the surfaces with brake clean, let it dry for a minute. So there's locator pegs on the head gasket, and it also says top right printed in there. So it's pretty easy to get it in the right way. And I'll see if you guys can see this. I don't know if I can get in here tight enough with this camera, but it's on the locator pegs, ready to put the head back down on there. So the last major step in reinstalling this head without setting the timing is torquing the head bolts, and it comes with the order that you torque the bolts in so that you don't just damage the head. So when you just snug them up when you're putting the head bolts in, it's okay, you don't have to follow the order. I just used a shorty ratchet. You're not going to put enough torque on anything to damage anything, but the torque sequence is pretty strenuous. So it's 40 Newton meters, 60 Newton meters, and then two 90-degree turns at each one of these bolts. So I've done this before, and the last 90 is you're wondering if something's going to break. So I'm going to keep this torque sequence in front of me to remind me which order I do the bolts in, and I've already got my torque wrench out, so I'm going to get to it. So that went off successfully. The head is now torqued to the block. Now all that's left to do is put it back together, and we'll see if it runs. Alright, so I got everything back together, the car's running, and there doesn't appear to be any leaks. I left the car running out in the driveway and came inside so that I could finish up the episode. I think I saved some time, but it might have just been an hour or so. Bottom line is, to do the job right, pull the head all the way off, flip it upside down, put it on a bench, clean everything off, clean the block. I got the block pretty clean, I was happy with it, but you could always hit it with a Scotch-Brite and some brake clean and do a bunch of other stuff to make it really look proper before you put it back together. So I did save time, maybe not a lot, but I got time to get other stuff done on the car tonight, so I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't show you guys the sides of the car because I didn't want to spoil the new graphics. I got a whole bunch of stuff on the sides, so I'm kind of saving the side of the car graphics to show you guys at the event next weekend. So I have a lot more to do. I'm not going to film the rest of it because it's boring and tedious, and I would rather just get everything done and not have to worry about filming and working at the same time. You guys have seen enough of the rallycross golf until it's out sliding around in the dirt. So that's all for this time. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, get out there and work on something.